Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. If you are a subscriber, this is my review for Power Book 2 Ghost, Season 1, Episode 2, Exceeding Expectations. I just ran down the stairs, y'all. Sorry. My child is up there virtual learning, and he needed some help. But anyway, we start off with Tasha. She pacing the floors. She's in like an interrogation room, waiting on Davis Method Man to come and chit chat with her. And when he gets there, he has someone else with him. I didn't catch her name, but she is another attorney. She works with him in his office. And he's, brought her on the case. She don't see it for Tasha. She don't believe nothing Tasha got to say. She thinks that Tasha's a liar. She thinks Tariq is a liar. Everybody lying. She ain't buying none of it. She's skeptical of it all because the lady is being charged, with a queen pin charge, and that's federal, and so it's like, what dealings do you have, in the operation where these people think that you were running things? What was your role? And, Tasha lies, of course, and she's like, so you didn't have nothing to do with nothing? And she's like, because your name was on the checks. So explain, Tasha. And Tasha says, well, she might have opened a few accounts. She might have helped out a little bit, but Ghost and Tommy, were in charge of the operation. She also admits to them that Ghost and James, same person. So they got to figure out why Saxe, what his motive is, because it has to be a personal vendetta, and it also has to be for political gain since the DNC is involved, and they, basically gooped the DA into, asking her a certain line of questioning. They knew what they were doing. It was all a plan. It was all a plot and a scheme set up by Todd. Then we see Tariq in his room counting his coin, and Zeke walks in the room. He asking him, how you get all this fly gear? How did you, come into all of this? How'd you do all this? And he's like, well, my auntie looks out. I got to be in school. I got to, stay on my studies, and since I have to be here, she look out. Tariq wants to know, can he come over for dinner? He plotting too, but he want to know, can he come over for dinner? And Zeke is like, I'll ask auntie. Then we see in the clash a light-skinned Keisha, y'all, being herself. I mean, they could have got anybody, but I guess get a girl a shot. She didn't do bad, but I mean, it's like you was just standing up there being yourself. Anyway, she's a part of the colonial studies. Go ahead, girl. Don't let the book fool you on the outside, sis. It's intelligent, okay? Intelligent. But anyway, they're talking about Great Expectations, and Tariq is late to class, of course. Like he always is, but the professor, I think what's his name? Mr. Reynolds, he introduces Tariq to the rest of the class, and they're talking about the book, and then Lauren gonna ask Tariq a question. Don't do that. Don't do me like that, classmate. Don't do me like that. Check and see if I have read the material before you just start asking me questions about the end of the book. All willy-nilly in front of the whole class. Like, who does that? As a class at my HBCU, we had each other's back, okay? If nobody knew nothing, nobody knew nothing. If one of us knew something, we all knew. Because that's how it works. That's how it goes, okay? Don't try me like that in class. And she asked him a question and he couldn't, give a response. And of course the professor is like, so you ain't read the book again? If it's too much for you, you can always go take the remedial courses like the rest of the folk at this school. If it's going to be too much. Now, I done told you the workload is hard. Now, you need to keep up. This is the second book you ain't read. And, what can he say? Because he didn't read the book in its entirety. He gets a text from Davis Method Man, asking can they meet, talk about Tasha's case. Then we see Davis Method Man telling him, that he thinks that Tasha, they think that Tasha was in charge of all of this. And of course, Tariq, corroborates her story and is like, no, mama wasn't in charge, but my daddy and Tommy was. So don't be looking at my mama for the kingpin, queenpin, because it wasn't her, it was Ghost. Very much Ghost. James St. Patrick, if we're going to be specific. Tariq also mentions that, Sachs getting the feds involved, this is personal. They have had a personal vendetta with that whole family for a few seasons now, with them trying to, stick the kingpin, status on James, and they could never do it. They could never pin it on him. They could never figure out who was Ghost. And so he was always skating by. They got a personal vendetta. They're just trying to stick it to that family by any means necessary. He tells him that, he'll handle the politics, but they're going to need the jury, because this is probably going to go to trial. They're going to need the jury to, hear all kind of bad things about the father. Like, they're going to have to drag him. They're going to have to tarnish his legacy. That's just how it is. That's just how it's going to have to be, because other than that, the jury is going to think she's in charge. They have to think that Ghost was in charge. Tariq is down for that. Tariq, don't have no problem dragging his daddy, because the funeral is the very next day. Back on campus, Tariq runs into his friend from Choate. And I think I wrote his friend's name down too, because we find it out. I'm going to just call him Brody. He looked like a Brody. Anyway, Brody, his friend, he want to get back in the game. He like, listen, we was making all kind of money at Choate. Where the weed at? Where the coke at? Where the pills at? I'm trying to sell that. Because I'm trying to come. And he don't even need to be trying to make no money. Your family's name is at the pool, over there at the gym, over there at the library. Your name all up and through the campus, and you worried about making a little, extra dollars. Just greedy. You don't even need it. You're rich. You're wealthy. Not even rich. He's wealthy. He invites Tariq to his brother's frat party, and Tariq is like, kind of got plans, because at the time he got a text from Zeke, saying auntie said it's cool, you can come to dinner. So he's like, oop, I got plans. I ain't gonna be able to make that little party, but I'll catch you later. We'll talk about the drugs later too. Auntie Mary, she laid up with another man, with another Latina. Another Latin lover. So she liked the Latin men. She liked the Puerto Ricans. And they laid up, and, she putting them out. She's like, you got to go. You got to go before Kane gets up, before anybody wakes up and sees you, especially Kane. You're going to have to leave. And he in love. He's smitten. He's like, let's talk about us. Can we get serious? Like, I want to be out in public with you. Like he love her. And then we see him getting dressed, and he's a police officer. So she's sleeping with the I was about to call him the feds, but he ain't the feds. She's sleeping with the police. How, lady? You operating a whole, I don't know what they doing, but I want to say it's drugs. And yet you got the man in your bed. That's risky. That's real risky, Auntie Mary. Anyway, Zeke is meeting with the advisor. He has the same advisor as Tariq. And he flirting, trying to get all in her business and tell me about yourself. All of this, that, and the third. Because she has to check in on him because he's on academic probation. She's like, your grades are kind of, they're coming up. Keep it up. Keep up the good work, and you'll be playing in no time. She asks him about Tariq, and he's like, well, we don't really talk like that. He cool or whatever. But, his dad's funeral is tomorrow. He got a lot going on. Tariq, he meets with Stern. And Stern, wants to basically talk to him about the funeral and he wants him to give the eulogy. He's basically telling him, don't tarnish your dad's legacy. That wouldn't be good for you or anybody else. You want to be able to keep your money. You don't want to, have no kind of problems or issues to where you don't get your inheritance. And he's like, so I'm gonna need for you to speak highly of your dad. Speak highly of him. He was giving him different examples, trying to show him how much he was like his dad. Like they, have the same mindset pretty much. And he's just like, you a walking, talking James St. Patrick. And yeah, we're gonna have to work on this. We're gonna have to work on this, and that. Because I don't want to mess up none of my political opportunities and my political gains that I'm getting from your daddy's name. So I'm gonna need for you to say something nice. Then we see Davis, Method Man, talking to the lady, that's with him on the case. And again, she don't see it for Tasha or Tariq. She's like, Tasha lying, Tariq lying. They lying. I don't even think you need to be on this case. I feel like you just need to go on and just give it up because they lying. But Davis, Method Man, he ain't buying it. He don't like the fact that Saxe just, dropped in and just shook the table so much. Now they have to, go double back and dig in a little bit deeper to find out what's their angle, because they definitely have an agenda. Then we see John, the DNC guy, and Saxe. They meet, and they're at Saxe's office, and Saxe is actually defending Tasha, saying it ain't Tasha that's the queen pin. Like, y'all got that all wrong. They don't care about that. They just want to be able to prove that. It's like, oh, yeah, we know that, but you're going to have to prove that she is. That's just that. It was because she admitted in open court that she had the power to tell Tommy Egan to go and do anything, that alone, might show the jury that she's in charge of the girls when she ain't. But that little tidbit might, seal her fate. Davis, on the other hand, has to prove that this is all for political gain, because they literally swooped in and just, took it completely over. Like, dropped the DA had to, drop her charges and all this, that, and the third, just for them to come back and charge her with, the queen pin status or whatever. Then we see Tariq. He's visiting Tasha, and she thinks that Stern is the one that is paying for Davis Method Man, but she finds out that it's Tariq, and she's like, I know you ain't open back up that hold on, because I might be jumping the gun. Yeah, she thinks that Stern is right about not tarnishing James's legacy. Tariq says he don't really care about the money. He's apprehensive about giving the eulogy. He don't really know what to say. Tasha's just like, your dad was a complicated man, but it might be best that you maybe not say nothing at all. Oh, she does. She asked about that daycare. Now, I know you ain't opened up that daycare, so how are you affording Davis Method Man? And, he, don't worry about that, mama. Don't worry about that. I got that covered. She changes the subject because, their call is being recorded. So she just changes the subject. How are your classes going? So now they have a regular conversation. Saxe calls in an investigator, I guess, that's, that works in the office, and asking him to get in on the case with him. And the man is like, nope, not after what you did to my mentor. That was a good man, the black guy that was killed. That, what's his name? Oh my God. What's his name on here? Drake, that Andre killed. But anyway, he don't trust Saxe because Saxe is always doing something underhanded. He don't never follow the rules. And, he's like, I'm not getting on nothing with you. Saxe reassures him, listen, I'm on the up and up. We'll do everything by the book. Please help me. So the man agrees, since you're gonna do things by the book, I'll help you out. Tariq meets with the advisor, and she heard that he was falling behind a little bit, from the fact that he didn't read his books. And she's still trying to get inside his head. Do you want to talk? Let's talk. How are you feeling? Like, what's going on inside? And Tariq is looking at her like, girl, I'm good. Don't be trying to psychoanalyze me. I'm good. I will be okay. But your father's funeral is tomorrow. Yeah, I know that. I'm all right. Can I go? She's so like, ma'am, come on. Dig in and just doing too much. She's pushing a little bit too hard. Tariq gonna come out swinging in a minute. Her name is Carrie, by the way. Tariq, he gets that text from Zeke, that it's time to go, and so he leaves. They going to dinner. Carrie goes directly to Mr. Reynolds' office to talk about Tariq. And they argue about her overstepping. I don't know about that man. It's like, I think his approach is more tough love, and her approach is more, coddling and nurturing. And that's from two black people trying to protect the black student in their care. Tariq is a special case, so he sees something in him, and so does she. He's disappointed in the fact that Tariq ain't, going above and beyond and going the extra mile and, doing all he can to be greater than the rest of his classmates. I think that's what disappoints him. It's like, you entitled. You think you don't have to read none of the material? You think you don't have to work or put in any work like everybody else in here? This is an opportunity that's been given to you, and you're taking advantage of it. I think that's Mr. Reynolds' his whole hang up with Tariq. Like, he wants him to be there. He wants him to succeed. But he ain't giving him no shortcuts. But they bicker back and forth, and then they start talking about the two of them. Apparently she got him the job there. And next thing we know, they smashing in the office, just straight up on the desk. I'm like, okay, well, all right. Okay, Carrie and Mr. Reynolds. Then she said she gonna have a vigil for James, and the man is like, who asked you to do that? Did that boy ask you to do a vigil for his daddy? No, well, me and the student. Girl, you're doing too much. Nobody asked you to do all of this. He basically tells her, like, you trying to project your pity on him, and she's just like, oh no, like I care. No, girl, something is off about her. Something is off about her, and we find out just what that is. She meets with a friend, she meets the friend, and she's spilling the tea. You know how that is. Girl, it happened. I didn't expect for it to happen, but I went over there, and you already know it went down. Come to find out, the lady she's talking to is her sponsor, and Carrie is a recovering sex addict. She better not be trying to put the moves on Tariq. Because I feel like something is off about this lady. She just want to be so helpful. No, don't be trying to stick your claws in Tariq. But it seems like she and the man that she was with, she was a sex addict, and he wrote a book about her, and that's why they broke up. He wrote a novel about her, telling all her business. And the sponsor is like, listen, you the one got him the job over there, so what you thought was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen? So from here on out, don't be going up in his office alone, or, if you got to be in there, keep the door open. Keep it cute, sis. Keep it cute. Don't be over there at that school relapsing. So I think she's back on her steps. Tariq is having dinner with Auntie Mary and the family. And while they're there, they get this visit from Uncle Frank. Uncle Frank then got out of jail. And everybody's like, when you got home, how'd you get out? Oh, he talking about he got out on, early good behavior, parole hearing, something like that. They all looking like, yeah, okay. And he started talking about the business, and he's about to dive in on everything. And then Auntie Mary is like, mixed company. You go put the dishes away. You came, take Tariq home. You go do this. You take care of your Uncle Frank. She give everybody instructions. It's time to go because you talking too much in front of mixed company. Um, Kane, he pulls over on his way to take Tariq home and gets out the car. You know, he get his gun. He tell Tariq to get out. And Tariq like, listen, put your gun up. You know, he hip to the game. Tariq ain't new to this. He true to this. And, you know, he proves to him and everything, you know, listen, your uncle's a snitch. And he like, don't be talking about my family. Listen, don't nobody get out of jail that early without snitching on somebody. And you didn't know about it? Yeah. That unannounced, you know, visit from him. Yeah, y'all need to be leery of Uncle Frank because Uncle Frank is a snitch. Point blank, period. That's just that on that. And Kane is like, well, damn, nigga. I'm impressed. And they get back in the car and going on about their business. Carrie, she has the vigil anyway. Ain't nobody asked her to do it, but she has it anyway. Mr. Reynolds come out there like, so, I told you not to do this and you did it anyway. Is the boy even here? No, not yet. He should be here soon. Girl. Cousin Diana and Auntie Mary talking, and Auntie, you know, is telling she know about Uncle Frank too. She's like, something ain't right about him. I'm gonna need for you to get to the bottom of that. Did you see the way he looked at you? You got to use what you got to get what you want. You know, you got a leg up on him with all of that. You got power over him. So do what you do. And at first, like, I don't know, she might have been talking about Uncle Frank, but I kind of want to say she was telling her that in reference to Tariq. I don't know, but Auntie Mary don't trust Tariq or Uncle Frank, and she don't trust that whole situation. So, you know, she got to get some info on that. Kane comes back, and Kane straight up is like, Tariq on the up and up, he cool. He even let me know, you know, Uncle Frank is a snitch. He and Diana said that at the same time. Yeah, he a snitch. Then Auntie goes to Zeke, and you know, he's like, what you know about Tariq? You know, like, did he ask you to come to dinner or did you invite him? He's like, he asked. He asked, huh? He tells him, I need you to find out everything you can on Tariq and report it back. Okay, Auntie. Tariq and that's his friend Braden, not Brody. Tariq and Braden, you know, they leave because he did show up at the vigil and didn't like what he saw, wasn't feeling it, not doing it, not speaking. Bye. And Braden, you know, kind of rushes him on out of there, slapping phones out of people's hands because everybody got their phone up recording Tariq. And they go to the party. So while they're at the frat party, they run into Braden's brother. He's a douche. I mean, a douche. Okay? You already know the type. The frat boy douche. He in the party and he's mean to Braden, like real nasty to him, calling him skid mark, you know, just being the bully that he is. And the police show up. Well, not the police. The campus security show up and they like, party's over, shut it down. It's too loud. Braden come out there. Do you know not Braden, but his brother. Do you know who I am? I'll have your job. One of those entitled, privileged douche. That's what he is. Because when the people find out who he is and who his family is, they like, oh, he's a Watkins. You gotta let him go. And I don't even know if that's some people's last name, but he's like, he's one of them. His family own a lot on this campus. We gotta let him go. Not me. I'd have been like, fuck that. He going right on down here where he's supposed to go. Book him. Care about that. Care about his family. But she probably would have lost her job if she had you know, took him in. But white privilege. Something else, ain't it? Back at the prison, an inmate is requesting a plan B from the bully CO. You know, she's like, get my plan B or it's going to be hell to pay up in here for you. Do what you got to do to get it. Davis and the partner, they meet in the judge's chambers with Sachs. And, you know, Davis, Method Man, is trying to prove that Sachs and them, you know, got a scheme running. The judge is like, well, I need some folks to testify on that. Like, who you got to testify? He's trying to, you know, prove that all of this is intentional. The fume. We at the fume now. Granny, Tariq, and Yaz, first they stopped by Raina's plot. Leave flowers over there for her. They're like, I'm so glad you're not out here by yourself anymore. And, they go over there and Daddy is right there. The funeral, nice little fume. They even let Tasha come, and Tasha came, and Tate was there shaking hands and being a politician. And, we got to figure out who's going to do this eulogy. Who going to do it? Because they won't let Tasha get up there. She was going to do it, but the CO, they being nasty towards her. Won't let her sit next to the family. No talking inmate, all that foolishness. So Tasha can't do it. Tariq ends up just like, listen, I'll just do it. I'll do it. And he gets up there and he says, nice little words for Diddy. He has some nice words to say about his dad. And they lower him in there. And y'all, I was crying. I was like, oh, I didn't think I was going to get upset, but I am sad about this. I did not think that it was going to get me, but it got me. It might have been, I don't know, but I was a little bit sad at that fume. Okay, the DA, that's who they brought in, the DA, because they had to have her testify. The DA is there. They're in the judge's chambers again with Saxon Davis, Method Man, the lady he working with, the DNC guy. Everybody in the judge's chambers now to get some testimony from the DA. And she's sitting up there mad too. Like everybody mad that Sax done threw this curveball all willy-nilly. And so she's sitting up there with an attitude, answering the questions. And it don't make Sax's case look good. Doesn't really help. But once she leaves, then he want to call in a rebuttal witness. And everybody looking around like, a rebuttal witness? Who? Who is it? Who could it be? But tight lip detective come in there and give her testimony. She don't see it for Sax either. She's sitting up there rolling her eyes like, this nigga got me in here. And then they tell her only, keep your responses to yes and no. Because she's trying to give, explanation to her answers, trying to help the other side, but it ain't happening. And so the judge don't see it for him, and the judge is just like, well, you got enough meat over there on your case for it to be a case, so we just gonna let it be what it be, and we're gonna take it to trial. That's just what it is. Before they leave, Tight Lip Detective tells them, listen, y'all make sure that I get up there and testify, because these folks is crazy. Y'all make sure I get up there now, okay? Then we see Kane. He pays Uncle Frank a visit and puts 2 in the dome. Gone, just shoot him right on there. They kill him and chop him up and then put him in all of these little bins. And then we see the whole little operation and how they get rid of bodies. One of the other cousins comes, he pulls his truck up to the back. And it's broad daylight. And they just, passing these bins up from the basement and loading it into that truck. That's Uncle Frank's body in pieces that they done loaded into the truck in broad daylight, by the way. And they drive off. Tariq is at home, and cousin Diana pop up. She wasn't sent by Monae. That's Auntie Mary's name, Monae. But I'm gonna call her Auntie Mary because that's what she is. Auntie Mary ain't sent her, by the way. She just came to talk or whatever, kind of trying to pick his brain. She was impressed by his street smarts. And Tariq asked her to get something for him, get something for him, to get to his mom. He asked her for that plan B. Because her dad, I guess her dad is in the same prison. I don't know, but, he was like, can you get in contact with your dad? Can you get him to get something to my mom? And, she's like, cool. Auntie Mary is at home, and when cousin Diana gets back, she's just like, he just needs, me to get, his mom needs a friend on the inside, and he needs me to get a plan B. And she's like, oh, okay, cool, I can work with that. Tasha back in her cell, and she finds this book, And inside the book is a cell phone. So I guess that's what the plan B meant. Get a cell phone. Like, I don't know. I don't know the prison, the prison slang. I thought plan B meant after, morning after pill. I ain't think it meant slide a phone, in the book. That's some real deep slang right there, because I would never put them two together. When she finds the phone, she calls Tariq, automatically, let him know that she got a phone. She tells him that she's proud of him. His eulogy was nice, blah, blah, blah. But she can't have him, getting himself in trouble. Stay out of trouble. And Tariq he just tells her he might have found another way. Then we see Kane pulling up to Auntie Mary's, and he sees a police car outside the house, and he just sits there and sees who gets out, and it's, her Latin lover, and he bringing flowers and candy and gifts and all kinds of stuff. That was in my Betty Wright voice. But he sees, the cop get out the car and go in the house, and he just, keeps driving. When the guy gets in the house, his gift, what did he have? I think it was a bottle. Yeah, it was a bottle and some snitch papers. And she's like, "Damn, you're a little late with the snitch papers. We done already handled that." Cause he's like, "Yeah, he snitched, but now he missing. Have you seen him?" "Oh no, ain't seen him. He ain't been around here." I don't know what happened to Uncle Frank. Then he's telling her that he's on her side, this, that, and the third. He's still trying to get in her good graces, and she still got a wall up, because it's like, you're a cop. This is as far as we go is the bedroom. That's as far as we go. You and I are not getting deep. We're not doing that, but he in love. Oh yeah. And so she asks him, it ends out with her asking him to get information on Tariq St. Patrick. So she don't trust Tariq just dropping in, in their lives out of nowhere. But it's like, girl, he wouldn't be in your life if the school hadn't asked him to tutor your nephew that's failing. That's why he around. But now Tariq, he knows that y'all got something going, and he probably trying to get in on it. Tariq just trying to get his mom out of jail and sell a little drug on the side. I don't know, guys, but it's getting good. It's getting good. It's always a whole lot of information. This episode right here, y'all, I wanted to fight Sax. I wanted to fight him. And if I see him in the street, I'm going to still want to fight him. I'm going to tell him, listen, run me my fair one. Because I can't. He is a great actor. He is a great actor, because I hate him. And I don't hate people, but I hate that damn Sax. Oh, I can't stand Sax. Like, with a passion, I can't stand him. Anyway, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll talk to you later. Peace and light.